Okay, so you're keen to get your Aussie business online. That's awesome. I remember that feeling, like kind of a mix of let's do this, but also, where do I even start? But what if I told you? You could have a website up and running without needing to become some kind of tech whiz.
Yeah. We're about to take a deep dive into building your first WordPress website. And trust me, it's way easier than you might think.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many business owners I talk to who are just totally intimidated by the whole idea of building a website. They think it's this big, scary, techie thing. But the good news is, it really doesn't have to be that way, especially when you've got a simple guide to follow.
Right.
Which is exactly what we're doing today. We're using this fantastic resource. It's from Now Technology Systems. They're an Aussie web development company. And they really know their stuff when it comes to what small businesses need. And get this, they've broken down this whole process of building a WordPress website into 8 straightforward steps.
Yeah, they really make it foolproof. And honestly, the best part is that we're talking about WordPress here, which powers a massive chunk of the internet.
Seriously, how much are we talking? Like, what percentage of websites out there are built on WordPress? Just so our listeners get an idea of how big this thing is.
Well, according to this guide, over 40%. So like almost half.
Wow, that's huge. That's like saying every other shopfront you see online is built on WordPress.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
It's incredibly user-friendly and flexible.
Yeah.
Even if you've never written a single line of code in your life.
See, that's what I like to hear. No coding required.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
Think of it like this. You wouldn't need to be like a builder to set up shop in a new space, right?
Right.
You'd have the foundation, the walls, ready for you to come in and make it your own. That's kind of what WordPress does for your website.
Okay, you've piqued my interest. Let's dive into these 8 steps. What's the first thing? The absolute first thing our listeners need to know.
First things first, you need your online address and a place to put your stuff, just like setting up a physical shop.
Okay, makes sense.
So we're talking about your domain name and hosting.
Right. So the domain name is like www.yourbusinessname.com.au, that kind of thing. The thing people type in to find you.
Spot on. And then hosting, that's like renting the actual space for your shop. It's where your website's files, all your data actually lives online.
Okay, so the domain name is the address, and the hosting is like the actual building itself.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Now, I noticed that the guide specifically recommends SiteGround, especially for Aussie businesses. What makes them a good choice for us down under?
Well, for one, they have service right here in Australia, which means your website loads faster for your Aussie customers. And no one likes a slow website.
Oh, absolutely not. Especially these days.
Right. Plus, their customer support is known for being super helpful. And they've got some Aussie-friendly features that just make life easier. It's like having a tech support team on call 24/7, but without the hefty price tag.
That's a good way to put it. Sounds like they've got our backs. And I love that they make installing WordPress a breeze.
Oh, absolutely. Most hosting accounts these days, including SiteGround, have a super simple, like one-click WordPress installation process. You practically just point and click. It's that easy.
Music to my ears. So, okay, we've got our domain name, our hosting sorted. We've magically installed WordPress with like a single click. What's next?
Now for the fun part. Step 2, making it pretty. Choosing a theme.
Ooh, yes.
Think of themes like choosing the overall look and feel of your shop.
Okay, I like that.
Do you want something modern and minimalist? Or maybe something warm and inviting? It's up to you.
Like picking out the color scheme and the furniture before you stock the shelves.
Exactly. And the best part, there are literally thousands upon thousands of free themes available. You're bound to find something that perfectly reflects your brand.
Thousands. Wow. That's incredible. But also maybe a little overwhelming.
Yeah, that's true. It can definitely feel like a lot to sift through.
So where do you even begin with that many choices? Thousands of themes. That's amazing. But I can also see how that could feel a bit overwhelming. Like, where do you even begin with that many choices?
Absolutely. It's definitely too much of a good thing situation sometimes. Yeah.
So my advice, start by thinking about the overall vibe you want to create for your customers. Is your brand playful and energetic, or maybe sophisticated and elegant?
Right.
Once you have a clear picture of your brand personality, browsing themes becomes a lot easier.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's like trying on outfits for your website.
Exactly. And then, if you find a few themes you really like, but maybe they need a little something extra, there are also premium themes you can check out.
Premium themes? Yeah. Think of those as the deluxe option. They often come with extra features, customization options, and dedicated support. So if you run into any trouble, you've got someone to help you out.
Got it. So like an upgrade with extra bells and whistles?
Exactly.
Okay. So we've laid the groundwork. We've got the look and feel down. Now it's time to add the bells and whistles right. That's where plugins come in.
You got it. Step 4 is all about plugins.
I'm getting excited just thinking about all the possibilities. What are some of the must-have plugins? The ones our listeners should know about.
So now Technology Systems, they actually recommend 4 essential plugins that are like the Swiss Army knife of any good WordPress site.
Okay, I like it.
So first up, we have Yoast SEO.
Yoast SEO.
Yeah, have you heard of it?
I have, but I'll admit I'm not 100% sure what it does.
So you've poured your heart and soul into building this amazing website. But what good is it if no one can find it?
It's like that saying, build it and they will come.
Yeah.
It only works in the movie.
Exactly. In the real world,
Yeah.
you need a bit of help to get noticed. And that's where Yoast SEO comes in.
Okay, so it helps people find my website.
Exactly. It's your secret weapon for getting found on Google. Yep. It's like having a backstage pass to understanding how search engines work and then optimizing your content so that when people search for products or services like yours, your website actually pops up.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
It's all about making sure your website is visible to the people who are actually looking for what you offer.
Okay, so Yoast SEO, that's for getting found. What about actually selling things on my website?
Ah, that's where WooCommerce comes in. The second essential plugin on our list.
WooCommerce.
Yep. This is your online shop assistant working tirelessly 24/7 to handle sales. So you don't have to be awake at 3 a.m. processing that last-minute order.
No more midnight market stalls. I love it. What else?
Well, you don't want to miss out on those valuable customer inquiries, right?
Right.
And that's where Contact Form 7 steps in.
Contact Form 7.
It makes it super easy for people to get in touch without having to hunt down your email address.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. No more digging through your website footer
Uh-huh.
or trying to decipher your contact details from your Instagram bio.
Exactly. Make it easy for them.
Exactly.
So we've got Yoast for SEO, WooCommerce for selling online, Contact Form 7 for easy inquiries. What's the fourth essential plugin?
This one is all about peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Yeah. You've put all this work into building your website. You want to make sure it's safe.
Of course.
And that's where Updraft Plus comes in.
That's a Draft Plus.
It's like a safety net for your entire website. It regularly backs up all your hard work, just in case of any technical hiccups or accidental deletions.
Oh, that's a good one. Like an insurance policy for your website.
That's right. You never want to be in a situation where you've lost all your content
Yeah.
or your site crashes and you have to start from scratch.
No way. That would be devastating.
It would. So Updraft Plus, it's a lifesaver.
Okay, so to recap, we have a beautiful website. It's easy to find thanks to Yoast. We can sell our products with WooCommerce. People can easily get in touch with Contact Form 7. And we have a backup plan in case anything goes wrong thanks to Updraft Plus. What's next?
Now comes the really fun part, breathing life into your website
Oh,
with your unique content.
okay. I like it.
Step 5 is all about showcasing what makes your business special.
All right. Time to let your business shine. But I'm curious, with so many websites out there these days, how do you make sure your content actually stands out from the crowd?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the answer, it's all about quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity.
Absolutely. People these days are savvy. They can spot generic, lifeless content from a mile away.
They can smell it a mile away.
Exactly. So instead of trying to churn out a million blog posts, focus on creating content that is truly valuable, engaging, and most importantly, tailored to your specific target audience.
So put yourself in your customer's shoes and think about what they actually want to read. What information would they find helpful? What would make them want to stick around and come back for more?
Exactly. Think about the questions they're asking, the problems they're facing, and then provide genuine solutions and insights. Don't be afraid to inject your own personality into your writing, too.
Oh, I like that.
People connect with authenticity, so let your personality shine through.
Makes sense. No one wants to read something that sounds like a robot wrote it. So we've talked about the words. What about visuals? Are those important too?
Absolutely. Think about it.
Right.
Would you rather browse through a website with nothing but walls of text, or one with stunning photography, engaging videos, eye-catching graphics?
I think we all know the answer to that. A picture really is worth 1,000 words.
Precisely. High-quality visuals not only make your website more visually appealing, but they also help to break up the text, making it easier for people to actually digest the information.
It's all about creating an experience for the visitor.
Exactly. You want to keep them engaged and clicking through.
Keep them coming back for more.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from installing WordPress to crafting compelling content, but something tells me our website journey isn't over yet. What's step 6 all about?
Step 6 is where you get to fine-tune everything and make it truly your own.
Okay, I like it.
Think of it like putting the finishing touches on your shop,
Oh, I like that analogy.
adding those personal touches that make it stand out from the competition.
So what kind of decorating are we talking about here?
Well, the guide mentions menus, widgets,
Hmm,
and the customizer. But don't let those terms intimidate you.
they do sound a bit technical.
They do,
Yeah.
but I promise they're really not once you get the hang of it.
Okay, good.
So menus, those are simply how you organize the navigation of your website.
Okay, that makes sense.
You want to make it super easy for visitors to find what they're looking for, whether that's your product page,
Yeah.
your blog, your contact information, whatever it might be.
Right, it's like having clear signage in your shop so people can find their way around easily.
Exactly. Now, widgets, those are like pre-built content blocks that you can add to different sections of your website,
Okay,
like your sidebar or your footer.
gotcha.
Think of things like a search bar, social media links, or even a display of your most recent blog posts.
Okay, so there's little extras that add personality and functionality.
You got it. And finally, the customizer.
The customizer.
This is where you can really let your creativity shine. It's where you can change your theme's colors, fonts, layout, all those visual details.
He's like fine-tuning the aesthetics of your website.
Yep.
And the best part, you can see those changes happen in real time.
Exactly. No more wondering if that shade of blue will clash with your logo. You can see it right there and then.
That's handy.
It is. It takes all the guesswork out of customization.
Okay, I'm loving all these customization options. It's amazing how much control you have over your online presence with WordPress. But before we get too carried away with choosing color palettes and fonts, we have to talk about something a little less glamorous, but equally important, the legal stuff.
Yeah, it's not the most exhilarating part of building a website.
Yeah.
But trust me, taking care of the legal bits up front will save you a lot of potential headaches down the road.
Okay, so step 7 is all about making sure our website is ticking all the right boxes legally. What do we need to know?
So, now technology systems. They emphasize 3 key areas: your privacy policy, terms and conditions, and accessibility.
Okay, let's break those down. Starting with privacy policy. That sounds a little intimidating.
It's really simpler than it sounds. Think of it like this. When someone visits your website, you might be collecting some information from them, even if it's just their email address for your mailing list. Your privacy policy is basically a promise to your visitors about how you'll use, store, and protect their information.
So it's all about being transparent and building trust with your audience.
Exactly. People want to know that their information is in safe hands.
Absolutely.
Next up, we have terms and conditions. These are like the ground rules for your website.
So if my website was a brick and mortar shop, the terms and conditions are kind of like the no shirt, no shoes, no servicing.
I like that analogy. It sets the expectations for how people should interact with your website. What's allowed, what's not allowed, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. And finally, we have accessibility. What does that entail?
Imagine pouring your heart into creating this beautiful website, but then someone with a vision impairment can't fully experience it. Accessibility is about making sure your website is usable by everyone, regardless of any disabilities they might have.
That's incredibly important. How do we make sure we're doing that right?
Luckily, there are guidelines to help us. Have you heard of the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG for short?
I have seen those letters before, but I'll admit I don't know exactly what they are.
Think of WCAG like a set of best practices for building accessible websites, for example. They recommend things like providing alternative text descriptions for images so that people using screen readers can understand what's on the page,
Oh, that's a good point.
or making sure your website can be navigated using only a keyboard. For people who can't use a mouse, there are tools and resources available to help you implement these guidelines.
So you're not just throwing things online and hoping for the best. You're making a conscious effort to make your website inclusive for everyone.
Exactly. And honestly, when you think about it, a lot of these accessibility guidelines just make your website better for everyone, not just those with disabilities.
That's a great point. So it's a win-win situation.
Exactly.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. From choosing a domain name to understanding legal compliance, it's been quite a journey.
It has. But look at you. You're practically a website building pro now.
I know, right? I almost feel ready to go out and build a second website.
But hold your horses. This guide from Now Technology Systems has given you an incredible foundation. But remember, building a successful website is an ongoing process, not a one-time event.
So what's the best way for our listeners to approach this ongoing process?
Don't be afraid to experiment. Try new things. And see what resonates with your audience. Pay attention to your website analytics. What pages are people visiting the most? What are they clicking on? Use that information to guide your content creation. And refine your website over time.
It's all about continuous improvement.
Exactly.
And hey, if you ever hit a roadblock or just want some expert guidance, don't hesitate to reach out to the team at Now Technology Systems. They've helped countless Aussie businesses build amazing online presences.
They're fantastic.
They sound like the perfect partners in all things WordPress. Well, there you have it, folks. 8 simple steps to launching your first WordPress website. We've demystified the process, busted some myths, and hopefully inspired you to take the leap and create something amazing. Until next time, happy website building.